Marijuana, the devil's harvest, the assassin of youth. Good kids quickly go bad. This was the portrayal of pot for nearly a century. Long touted as the smoke of hell responsible for violent and psychotic behavior, many researchers believe it to be relatively benign, yet it remains illicit and demonized in much of the world. Today, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency classifies marijuana alongside heroin as a Schedule I drug, meaning the harshest drug penalties apply and are enforced. U.S. law enforcement spends billions of dollars a year to combat it. Over 800,000 Americans were arrested last year because of it, almost 90% of them for simple possession. These types of arrests, along with mandatory minimum sentences and 3 strikes you're outlaws, have added to an already overburdened prison system.
We have spent $1 trillion prosecuting the drug war since Richard Nixon declared war on drugs in 1971. Another $69 billion a year down the rat hole, and what do we have to show for it? Drugs are more readily available today at lower prices and higher levels of potency than in the history of the drug war. So the longest running war in the history of the United States, armed conflict, I dare say, has been an abysmal failure. I characterize it as the most destructive and damning social policy since slavery. After my book came out, I was talking with a police chief who had read the drug chapter, and I said, okay, let me have it, because I know you're going to disagree with me. And he said, I agree with everything you're saying. I said, gosh, can I quote you? And he asked, well, what have you been smoking? And he said, no, you can't quote me. He was a new major city police chief. And I, by the way, talked to an awful lot of police chiefs and other elected officials who whisper their support for the legalization approach, but who are, for a variety of reasons, most of which are obvious, reluctant or fearful to speak out.
In 2005, the U.S. State Department estimates that more than 22 million pounds of marijuana were produced indoors and out. Some assessments have it displacing corn as the leading cash crop in America. So as much as the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency would like to see these operations go away, they are not.
New government statistics show police arrested a record 829,000 people for marijuana violations last year. According to the group NORML, a pot smoker is now arrested every 38 seconds in the country. The total number of marijuana arrests in the U.S. far exceeded the total number of arrests in the U.S. for all violent crimes combined, including murder, manslaughter, forcible rape, robbery, and aggravated assault.
The first federal law against marijuana was 1938, and they did it through high taxation because they knew they didn't have authority to say that you're not allowed to smoke marijuana. Today, it's gone berserk. The federal government comes in and overrules a state that has legalized marijuana to be used for very sick people, AIDS and cancer, and they're getting some help. The federal government comes in, puts people in prison that are sick because they're using it for medical reasons, and they've never committed a violent crime. That's how absurd the war on drugs has become. Governments can't protect individuals from themselves. It's just impossible. Otherwise, they become a tyrannical state.